We now welcome to the set Ryan Jean-Marie, linebacker coach and recruiting coordinator here at the University of Texas. Coach, we love the suspense. It's fun for us. We're watching all this speculation happen, everything unfold at the very last moment. For you, as a coach that's put so much work in on the recruiting trail, what's it like for you to wait to the final moments of the final day?
I will say first, I think Coach Strong enjoys it a lot more than we do. You would always like to have the guys, settled in and in place and ready to sign on National Signing Day. But it's exciting. It's exciting. It's like we said, it's just like a game. You feel like you're winning. One-on-one matchups in a game when the kids decide to come to Texas. So it's I can smile about it because they're coming here. I would imagine if I was on the other side of some of those commitments, I wouldn't feel as good. But it's a great day to be a Longhorn.
How does this compare, the way this day has gone down, to other signing days that you've been around in your experience?
This is unique. I've never been a part of anything like this. It's very rare to go into the morning of National Signing Day and literally have 9 kids that are going to announce, and you don't know, for sure if they're going to come to your university. So I've never been a part of it. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that have never been a part of it that have coached for a long time. But we believed in our system. We believed in the relationships we built with the players that we were recruiting. So, even the ones that didn't come, we felt like we were in it to the end. But, with our batting average right now, just today, we could...
It's Hall of Fame right now.
We could be going to Canton. Yeah, we could be going to Canton.
Coach, as the recruiting coordinator, just kind of explain to us what that consists of, because obviously you're recruiting players at your position, but now they put more on your plate. So just talk about how you balance that.
Well, first off, I have to give all the credit in the world to the staff. I think our staff is probably undervalued when it comes to recruiting. I think they do a great job. We have several guys that have ties in state, and just guys that can go into any type of home and make their family feel like they're part of the family, and they feel like we can be an extension of them as their sons would come to school. They would feel like they were going to an extended family member, and I think that's nothing that can be taught. I think that's Coach Strong has made a concerted effort to hire guys that have strong family values and guys that, at the end of the day, are going to have the kids' best interest at heart.
A lot of defensive recruits just talk about, before going in, kind of the thinking on first off, offering that many defensive players, but also now bringing a few in.
Well, we targeted, 90% of these kids about this time last year. So we knew they were going to be our prime targets going into 2016. And I think it's twofold. I think they saw a lot of young kids play on defense, so they knew if they could come in and compete at a high level that we weren't afraid to put them on the field. And the second thing, I think, obviously we didn't play up to standard on defense, so I think they felt like they could actually come in and help us.
You talked about the young players that contributed on the field, and when you see these announcements in y'all's office, there's a lot of players in there. How much of a role do the players have in the recruiting of both on and off-campus recruiting?
They're the biggest selling point we have, because we can go off-campus and actually garner their attention and garner the interest, but when they come into on campus, the guys that sell your program are your players. We can only take it so far, but the kids they're going to actually believe are going to be the players, because they get them in one-on-one situations where they're going to actually be comfortable, and most kids are going to ask, now tell me what Coach Strong's really like. Tell me what a day in the life as a student athlete really is. I mean, we're grown men, so we're going to always give them the brighter side of things, and the kids are going to be a little bit more realistic in how they approach the day-to-day life of being a Texas Longhorn. And I say this, our kids did an unbelievable job. You can see their passion and their determination to try to get this program back to where it belongs.
When you wear that Longhorn logo on any part of your wardrobe and you go out recruiting, you know how it is. You're going to face negative recruiting.
Yes.
And we've heard very publicly from a lot of unnamed sources that this staff cannot recruit inside the state of Texas. What does this recruiting class prove to the naysayers?
Well, we never doubted ourselves. We heard a lot of the the rumors and some of the articles, but we never doubted ourselves. We knew as those articles were being published, if you interview 10 coaches, 9 coaches were saying positive things about us, and of course they printed the one that didn't, because that was going to stir up, those conversations. Yeah, so we understood that, but I will say this: with Coach Strong's philosophy, I don't think there was a school in state that visited more high schools than we did in the spring, and I don't think there's another school in state that's more open with the high school coaches as far as coming on campus and opening the doors for whatever they would need as far as film, meeting space, you name it. We have an open door policy with the coaches.
I think every one of these commits and signees that you've gotten so far here on National Signing Day have either been committed to an SEC school or an SEC school has been in the mix that you beat head-to-head. Being in the state of Texas, how important is that to win those head-to-heads against the SEC?
I think it's the most important thing that we have in recruiting. I think when Coach Strong first got here, he said the most important thing we were going to do was recruit our state. And I think that was another misconception when we went out of state last year to fill a couple of needs. And our philosophy has always been we're going to concentrate on recruiting in-state and getting the best players in the state. But as you guys know, you have to fill your rosters by position. And if there's not the same amount of players at a certain position, last year was defensive back. So we went out of state to try and offer a few defensive backs. This year was defensive line, so we went out of state to offer some defensive linemen. But at the end of the day, we know this is the best high school football in the country with the best players, so we were always going to focus in on the players in this state.
Well, Coach, go for it, Amar.
The bell cow of this group has been Malik. He was one of the, he spearheaded the 2015 class. You see him now putting in work in the 2016. How has he matured as a player, but also as a leader of this ball team?
I think we talked to Malik a whole bunch, and I think as a freshman, even though he was a starter and very productive at times, he still didn't want to take the reins as the leader of the unit because we had some seniors who were very vocal. But I think once the season ended, I think he understands now that this is going to be his team, and he's one of the guys in that young group that understands we can't do it with what we have. We have to keep adding more talented players to this program because at the end of the day, that's what's going to win. We feel like we have good coaches. We feel like we have some good players, but at the end of the day, we have to keep getting the most talented players in the country and to keep upgrading our roster. And I think he understands that. And like I said, he did an unbelievable job when every kid came on campus. Obviously, he's got a lot of name recognition, so they wanted to meet him, and he embraced that role.
Coach, we appreciate the time. And by the way, looking good for a guy that cannot be getting much sleep.
Thank you. Thank you.